Hey guys, we're back to Mr. Lemoncello's library, and we've just wrapped up chapter 35. And Kyle and Akimi and Miguel and Sierra had just gone into conference room B and set up all their clues that they have found so far in order to escape the library. And then they went into the 600s room, or the sciences room, and they then meet Audubon, who is what the Audubon Society is named after, which is all about birds. And so they meet him, and also a blackbird that is actually from Alexandriaville, and see how that plays into a clue for their escape. And now we're going to read chapters 36 and 37 together in this one video. So we are up to page 187. So now, down on the first floor, Charles and Andrew were working their way around the semicircle of 3-story tall floor-to-dome bookcases filled with fiction. It was nearly 8 p.m. "We need to find that blessed book," said Charles, craning his neck to study the shelves. "I'm getting kind of hungry," mumbled Andrew. "You had a snack this afternoon," snapped Charles. "Well, now it's time for dinner." "No, we need to find Anne of Green Gables first." The classic by Lucy Maud Montgomery was the middle book on the top shelf in the staff picks display case. So far, Charles, Haley, and Andrew had not been able to find it anywhere in the library. "Unfortunately," said Andrew, "they've temporarily erased the book's call number from the database. So we wouldn't know what to punch into the hover ladder's control panel," grumbled Charles. "Actually," said Andrew, "they might have shelved it in the children's room. Or maybe the 800s with literature? Could be in the 400s too, because it was originally written in Canadian, which is technically a foreign language." "So you have said, Andrew, repeatedly. But we've already searched those other locations several times. It has to be here with other fiction titles. You just need to fly up and find it." "Well," said Andrew, "I'm kind of afraid of heights." "Fine, whatever. I'll go up and grab it. But you have to give me some kind of call number to enter into the hover ladder." Lucy Maud Montgomery wrote other Anne books. There's Anne of Avonlea. Charles dashed over to the nearest library table and swiped his fingers across the glass face of its built-in computer pad. "Here we go. Anne of Avonlea by Lucy Maud Montgomery, F-M-O-N. "Yes," said Andrew. "Fiction books are usually put on the shelf in alphabetical order by the author's last name. Non-fiction titles are classified according to the Dewey Decimal System." "How long have you known this?" Andrew's nose twitched. "Since second grade." "So all we ever needed was F-M-O-N? We could have found this book hours ago?" Andrew gulped. "You are such a disappointment." Shaking his head, Charles huffed over to one of the hover ladders. He quickly jabbed F-M-O-N into the keypad. The boot clamps locked into place around his ankles. "You owe me for wasting all this time, Andrew. You owe me big time. If you let me down once more, I swear I will tell everybody you're a big blubbering baby. I'll Twitter it and post it on Facebook." "Don't worry. I'll make you glad you picked me for your team, Charles. I promise." The hover ladder lifted off the floor and gently glided up to the M section of the fiction wall. Shuttling sideways, it carried Charles over to a shelf displaying all of the Anne books. He grabbed a copy of Anne of Green Gables. As soon as he did, the ladder started its slow descent to the floor. "What'd you find?" asked Andrew when Charles landed. "The clue we needed." He showed Andrew the card that had been tucked inside the front cover. So we have C plus, and then I don't know if this is Anne. Maybe it's for clan. I'm not sure. "Okay," said Andrew. "It's a C plus hat. So the word is chat, which, by the way, should also be chat, the French word for cat." "Well done, Andrew," said Charles. Well, I guess I was wrong. I don't know. Yeah, where did I get clan? I'm silly. Said Charles, even though he knew the clue was really C plus and equaling can. Where did I get the L? Thereby making the puzzle, you can walk out the way, blank, blank, in, past, blank. The way, what did what? He wondered, and what does in mean? Charles desperately needed to find the 3 missing pictograms. Suddenly, Mr. Lemoncello's voice boomed out of the speakers, ringing the rotunda. "Hey, Charles! Hey, Andrew! Let's do a deal!" Game show music blared. A canned crowd cheered. Charles turned around and saw shafts of colored light illuminating 3 envelopes perched on top of the librarian's round desk. Clarence, the security guard, marched into the reading room and, folding his arms over his chest, took up a position near the 3 envelopes. "We have a green envelope, a blue envelope, and a red envelope," said Mr. Lemoncello. "In 2 of those 3 envelopes are copies of 2 of the 3 pictogram clues you still need. In 1, there is a clunker card. If you pick an envelope with a clue, you get to keep it. And you get to keep going. But once you pick the clunker card, you're done. And you must suffer the consequences." Andrew raised his hand. "Yes, Andrew. What are the consequences?" "Something bad," said Mr. Lemoncello. "In fact, something wicked this way will probably come. Do you want to make a deal?" "Yes," said Charles. The canned audience cheered. "All right then, Charles, you roll first." "Pardon?" "Swipe your fingers across the nearest desktop computer panel. The Dice Tumbler app is up and running." Again, the pre-recorded audience cheered. They sounded like they loved watching dice tumble more than anything in the world. Charles slid his fingers across a glass pane. The animated dice rolled. "Ooh," cried Mr. Lemoncello, "double 6s. That gives you a 12. "Is that good, sir?" "Maybe, maybe not. Okay, Andrew, your turn." Peckelman tapped the glass. The dice flipped over. "Another set of doubles," said Mr. Lemoncello. "Yeah," muttered Charles. 2 1s. Snake eyes." "Is that bad?" asked Andrew. "Maybe," said Mr. Lemoncello. "Maybe not. Okay, guys, which envelope would you like to open?" Charles thought about it while tick-tock music played. They were given this chance to play Let's Do a Deal after they located the Anne of Green Gables clue. Coincidence? He didn't think so. "We'll take the green envelope, sir." Clarence presented the green envelope to Charles. "Open it," said Andrew. "Open it." Charles undid the clasp, pulled out a card. A loud zonk rocked the room. The card was black, with blocky white tape. "Uh-oh," mumbled Andrew. "What's it say on that card?" "Sorry, kids, you're out of luck," read Charles. "So out of doors, you're all now stuck." Clarence picked up the blue and red envelopes and marched back toward the entrance hall. "What's that mean?" said Andrew. "Well," said Mr. Lemoncello, "Charles rolled a 12 and you rolled a 2. What's 12 plus 2? 14, said Charles eagerly, the way he always did in math when he wanted to remind the teacher that he was the smartest kid in the class. "Oh," said Mr. Lemoncello, "this is not good. In fact, I'd say it's stinkerific." "Stinkerific," said Andrew. "Is that even a word?" "It is now," said Mr. Lemoncello. "JJ, tell them what they've lost." An authoritative female voice boomed out of the ceiling speakers. "Warning! Due to a clunker card, all 10 Dewey Decimal doors will lock in 10 minutes at exactly 8 o'clock. If you are in one of those rooms, kindly leave immediately. The 10 doors on the second floor will remain locked for 14 hours. Andrew panicked. "What? 14 hours? I told you 12 plus 2 was bad," quipped Mr. Lemoncello. "Of course, it could have been good. If you had picked one of the other envelopes, you would have received a clue and a free 14-month subscription to Liberty Journal." Charles did some quick math. "Sir, does this mean we'll be locked out of the 10 Dewey Decimal rooms until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning?" "Bingo!" said Mr. Lemoncello. "It sure does." "This stinks," whined Andrew. "We need those stupid rooms to solve your stupid puzzle. Clunker cards stink. This game stinks. 14-hour penalty stinks." Charles did his best to block out Andrew's rant. He needed to think. And then it hit him. Kyle Keeley's team had to be working on some other solution to the bigger puzzle of how to escape from the library. Otherwise, Charles and his team would not have been able to find the 9 clues they'd already picked up. Surely, if Keeley's team had been playing the same memory match game, they would have found at least one of the pictograms before Charles, Andrew, or Haley did. They must be working a completely different angle. Charles was certain that if he could use this downtime to learn what Keeley and his team had in their meeting room and combined it with his picture puzzle, he would emerge from the library victorious. "Do not despair, Andrew," Charles said confidently. "We are still going to win." "How?" Charles leaned in and cupped a hand around his mouth so no security cameras could read his lips. "Remember," he whispered, "you need to pay me back for wasting a ton of time in finding Anne of Green Gables." "What? You're the one who picked the stupid green envelope with the stupid clunker card." Charles narrowed his eyes and chilled his hushed voice. "So?" Nothing," said Andrew nervously. "Just thought I'd, point it out." Charles turned his eyes into blue ice. "So," whispered Andrew, swallowing hard, "what exactly do you want me to do?" "Find a way to sneak into Community Meeting Room B." Andrew wheezed in panic. "That's impossible." "Don't worry. I have an idea." "What is it?" 2 words. Sierra Russell. And that's the end of 36. Now we'll start 37 right here. So we're up to page 195. Ever wonder if this could freak any worse, said Akimi, because it couldn't. Yo, none of us pulled a clunker card, groused Miguel. That means somebody on Charles's team did it. Akimi and Miguel are right, Kyle, said Sierra. This really isn't fair. I know, was all Kyle could say, but it's like in Mr. Lemoncello's Family Frenzy, where one player pulls the orthodontist card and everybody has to move back 7 spaces to buy their kids braces. Kyle and his teammates were back in community meeting room B. They'd been staring at the clue board, wondering what a wailing blackbird had to do with Willy Wonka and the 10 Commandments, not to mention that long list of books and all the statues, when the voice in the ceiling made its announcement about the Dewey Decimal doors being locked for 14 hours. Well, Mr. Lemoncello better have a good reason, said Akimi. Oh, I do, said Mr. Lemoncello. His face appeared on one of the meeting room walls, which was really a giant plasma screen video monitor. Team Kyle is not being penalized for Team Charles's blunder, he said. Far from it. In fact, you are being rewarded. Ha! Akimi arched her eyebrows in disbelief. Really? How? The other team's penalty gives you a wrinkle in time. A wrinkle in time, said Kyle. Is that a clue? No, it's a book. And sometimes, Kyle, a book is just a book. But thanks to the clunker card, you have the gift of wrinkle time to see clues outside the 10 Dewey Decimal rooms. Speaking of Time, a magazine, available in our periodicals section, it's dinner time. So the game is basically suspended until 10 o'clock tomorrow, said Kyle. Well, Kyle, that's up to you. You can use this time as a bonus to think, read, and explore. Or you can run upstairs and play video games all night long. The choice is yours. We want to win this game, said Kyle. His teammates nodded in agreement. Wondermous, said Mr. Lemoncello. Keep working the puzzle, but try to avoid Mrs. Basil E. Frankweiler's files, which is another book. They're all mixed up. And before you turn in this evening, you might want to spend some time curled up with a good book. They just said the book rooms are locked, said Akimi. The nice lady in the ceiling was only talking about the 10 Dewey Decimal rooms. There is plenty of first-class fiction in the Rotunda reading room. Dr. Zinchenko has even selected 7 books specifically for our 7 remaining contestants. After dinner, you'll find those books on her desk. When he said that, Mr. Lemoncello started winking. I think you'll find the books to be very enlightening, inspirational even. And then he winked some more. And now I must return to my side of the mountain. See you in the morning, children. I have great expectations for you all. All these are books that he keeps inserting into his language here. Mr. Lemoncello's image disappeared from the wall. Okay, said Akimi. From the way Mr. Lemoncello was just winking, either somebody kicked a bucket of sand in his face or our recommended reading list is another clue. On the other side of the rotunda, Charles huddled with Andrew in meeting room A. I don't trust Haley, he said. Why not? Charles placed his hand on Andrew's shoulder. Well, my friend, I'm not sure if I should tell you this, but Haley told me she didn't think you were handsome enough to appear in Mr. Lemoncello's holiday commercials with us when we win. Because of my glasses? Charles bit his lip. Of course. I totally disagree. I see, said Andrew, his ears burning bright red. Then she doesn't get to see what we found in that Anne of Green Gables book. Very well, Andrew. If that's how you want to play it, you bet I do. Fine, let's go see what's for dinner. I am starving. When Charles and Andrew entered the cafe, the Keeley team was already inside, filling their trays. Hey, way to go, Charles, joked Miguel Fernandez. You guys pulled a clunker card. Indeed we did. However, not even that bit of bad luck can derail our juggernaut. Huh? Said Akimi. He means we're still gonna win, said Andrew. Charles and Andrew crossed to the far side of the room to join Haley, who was sitting in a corner. You guys find any clues this afternoon? She asked. Sadly, no, said Charles. All we found was that door-locking penalty, said Andrew, who could lie almost as well as Charles. How about you, Haley? Charles asked. Find anything interesting? Nope, nada. Then she yawned and finished her dinner. I think I'll head upstairs and sack out. Really? It's only 8:48. I know, but I'm totally pooped. She yawned again. Plus, I want to be up bright and early before the Dewey Decimal doors reopen. We have more clues to find. See you guys tomorrow. Unless we have more team business to discuss. No, nothing. She walked out of the cafe. Okay, so you guys have a couple more chapters to read independently, and then you have your questions to answer and turn in. So, I hope you enjoy your stories, and I will talk to you guys soon. Take care.